My name is Peyton Russell. I am a senior here at the college. I am originally from San Francisco, but living in West Ashley, and I am a biology and Spanish double major, and I will be going to MUSC as a first-year medical student in the fall.
All right, Vernon.
Sorry, I thought Haley was next. What's up, everyone? My name is Vernon Kennedy. I am a junior in the Honors College from Winsboro, South Carolina. I'm majoring in biology with a concentration in molecular biology. And I plan to pursue an MD PhD after graduation.
And Vernon, before we hand it over to Haley, brag a little bit about some recent news.
Okay, so I was just awarded a Goldwater Scholarship. So the Goldwater Foundation, the Baird Goldwater Scholarship, I'm not sure if you guys have heard of it. It's the most prestigious award you can receive as someone who's majoring in mathematics, science, or engineering. So I just found out like a week and a half ago, I think, that I received the award. It's for students who are pursuing research. Thanks, Peyton. It's for students who are pursuing research. So if any of you guys are interested in research as well, I do neuroscience research at the college. I love it. I'm happy to talk about that experience as well. So.
All right, now Haley next.
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Haley, and I am graduating this spring virtually. And I am from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and I am a biology major with a Spanish minor and concentration in molecular biology. And I am starting medical school next year as a first year at Johns Hopkins, so I'm really excited about that.
All right, can I make you brag a little bit more, Haley?
Oh, there's more? Okay.
Well, about your acceptance for Johns Hopkins?
Oh, yeah. What else?
Just about the support you're receiving.
Oh, well, I found out last week that they're giving me a full scholarship, so I'm really excited about that. Oh, thank you, guys.
And then
muted clapping.
Stephanie.
Hi, so I'm Stephanie. I'm from Lansdale, Pennsylvania, which is a suburb outside of Philadelphia, and I am a senior at the college this year. I'm a biology major with a chemistry minor, and next year I'll be starting my first year of veterinary school at UC Davis in Davis, California.
And I believe that's the top ranked vet school in the country. Or
in the world.
In the world.
Yeah.
In the world.
Yeah.
So, congrats.
You know, just.
All right, and then Neha.
Dang, that's a tough act to follow. Okay, so my name is Neha. I'm from Fort Wayne, Indiana. I'm a junior in the Honors College. I'm a biology major and chemistry and Spanish minor on the pre-med track. I kind of have a different approach that I took to pre-med and going to medical school, in that I want to take a gap year, and I plan on pursuing a Fulbright scholarship. I want to be fluent in Spanish, and so I'm going to be pursuing the ETA and hope to apply for a Fulbright in Spain.
And then I think next is Sam.
How's it going, everyone? Is it working right? Cool. I'm Sam. I'm from Gaithersburg, Maryland. I'm a senior in the Honors College. I'm a bio major with a psych minor, and next year I'll be starting med school at University of Maryland School of Medicine.
All right, congrats. And so I think that is all of our current students. I don't think I saw any other come in. Speak up if you're a current CFC student who didn't, who entered a little bit late, but I think that is everyone. There's one student that was going to try to join us, but she's actually an EMT and she's working right now. So that's a really good excuse for not being here. Or any of our current students that are on here right now, a part of the EMT program, or would they want to maybe just chat a little bit about what that looks like? Oh, we have two. Yeah, so let's, as a reminder, go ahead and if you have questions, once we talk about this, feel free to either ask them out loud after you unmute yourself, or you can also enter them into the chat box. But I'll let Haley and Neha talk a little bit about what it means to be an EMT on campus.
Sure. So Neha will add to this, but we have a class that's located on campus. They're trying to get course credit for it right now, but we're still in the process of doing that. But it's pretty much equivalent to a 3 credit hour class, and you get a discount as a College of Charleston student. So it's a semester or the summer, and you get a lot of hands-on experience. You learn how to manage airways and how to do CPR and help figure out if someone's having a diabetic emergency or stroke, or manage traumas. And then you get to do ride-alongs in the 3 surrounding counties, Charleston County, Berkeley, and Dorchester, and get hands-on patient experience. And then we have a volunteer service at the College of Charleston. I'll let Neha talk more about that.
Yeah, so when you become an EMT, I think the best way to start out is definitely by volunteering, and it's great that we are able to give back to our campus. And so we have 2 shifts that you can work. There's one from 5 p.m. to 11 p.m. And then if you're brave and you want to do an overnight, you can do an 11 p.m. to a 7 a.m. Doing the overnights, you definitely get a lot more calls. So if you do want that experience, that's a good way to kind of get it. We have a fully functional ambulance. It's really awesome. I was terrified to drive it for the first time, but eventually I got over the fear, which is really cool. You get to run real calls. Charleston PD will show up, our public safety's there. It's pretty much like working for an actual service, which is awesome. But you are doing that volunteer time, which medical schools really appreciate that, you are taking that time to give back to whatever community that you're a part of. And EMS is a really good way to do that. And kind of what Haley was saying with the, you get a lot of hands-on experience. Some of my friends who are in medical school right now, they're starting their 3rd and 4th year. And that's when you do all of the rotations and you're really getting in there. And they say that's the steepest learning curve is when you're going from being a student, studying, how to study. We've been doing it our whole lives. And then all of a sudden you have to talk to people and, combine your knowledge and then actually apply it. So EMS is a great way to kind of get that early on. We have a really passionate team. Our coordinator, he's awesome. He's really excited about teaching people about EMS. And I think it's a great way to kind of combine our love for medicine and also helping people on campus.
I have a quick question. When's the earliest you can start volunteering for that? Is that a junior and senior opportunity or?
Yeah, so you can get involved as early as your freshman year. So I got certified this summer after my freshman year, and then I started sophomore year, but we have a lot of freshmen that are already certified and have been volunteering for their local counties, and then they'll just come in with their accreditation and they'll work for CFC.
Mm-hmm. If you still have to take the class, we usually recommend you wait maybe till at least after your freshman year, just so you get the swing of college first and get used to studying and your academic schedule first, and then get certified and then start sophomore year. But if you're already certified, the 2nd semester freshman year is a good time you can start.
What's the sort of, I guess the word was the time commitment to it? What kind of time commitment is that?
Yeah, so it's 1 shift per week. And then you can pick either one if you have a lot of morning classes. I remember one semester I had all 8 a.m. So I was probably not going to work that many overnights. So you can definitely pick the earlier shift, but we do ask that you try to do 1 shift a week. But we're pretty understanding because obviously being pre-med, you have a lot to juggle. Sometimes you have a really hard semester. So we understand that if, maybe a few weeks you can't work a shift because it's midterm season. So it's pretty flexible because we're super appreciative that you're volunteering for us. But getting more experience means working more shifts. So it's kind of you get out of it what you put in.
Thank you.
I know you all have lots of questions, so feel free, if you feel more comfortable asking them in the group chat, that's fine, or you can unmute yourself to ask them, whether that be about sort of pre-health support services, so who kind of helps you as you prepare for whatever sort of pre-health track you're going down, or anything else related to that.
Hi, I'm Emma. So I have a quick question. So I know that doing pre-med at other schools usually kind of excludes you from doing study abroad opportunities, but have any of you had a chance to study abroad? And if so, how did that fit into your pre-med experience?
I love this question. And just side note, I'm also a C40 tour guide. So I love talking about study abroad. And I think that's the biggest misconception when it comes to being pre-med is that you cannot study abroad. And that makes me so upset when people think that. I will say being pre-med, as you guys know, you've been interested in this field, you've probably done some research. We do have to take a lot of classes. We have a lot on our plate. So it requires planning for sure, but it is totally possible. So I actually did, and something that's special about College of Charleston is that we do have a Maymester program, which is awesome. It's like a 6-week chunk in like right at the end of finals before like summer session starts. So you could still do like summer classes too, or like summer research, but that Maymester gives you that opportunity to do kind of like a mini study abroad. So say you don't want to go abroad for a full semester, and that's what I did. So I studied abroad in Spain for 6 weeks in this little tiny town called Trujillo. That's what really pushed me to want to be fluent in Spanish, and like what kind of inspired me to apply for the Fulbright and take that year off to work on my Spanish. And I think study abroad is really valuable, especially in a pre-med sense. I think more pre-med students should find time to kind of go abroad. It definitely gives you a sense of how other people live and other cultures, especially for like, I want to pursue Spanish. So it's definitely going to be something that I'm going to apply to my career as a physician, is that cultural competency and that language part of it. So I can't say enough good things about studying abroad. And one of my really good friends, her name is Neve, she actually went a full semester abroad, and she's a biochem major, and she's still going to medical school. So you can definitely make it work. So don't give up that dream on studying abroad.
All right, thank you.
Hey guys, sorry I'm late. I just popped in, but I'm Casey. I'm a senior. I'm a psych major, and I'm going to physician assistant school at Presbyterian College in October. So if any of you guys here are interested in like that rather than med school, I'm the person to ask, and I'm sure there's a couple of other of us in here as well. So just wanted to say hi really quick.
Welcome, Casey. And then we'll start having, I think, some questions in the box. But one thing that I want to maybe have each of you respond to, or if you just feel strongly about this part, is maybe talking about what about C of C was sort of distinguishing for you in a pre-health track, maybe an experience you had at C of C that you wouldn't have possibly had at another institution. Maybe that's specific programs we offer on campus, or maybe even connections with MUSC, the Medical University of South Carolina.
I can answer it. So for me, the community, community I feel like just encompasses all of it. So when I first came to the College of Charleston, you guys will hear from her. Her name is Karen Aibert. So she's over the pre-health advising at the college. She oversees all of the students who are interested in medicine, PA school, OT, PT, you have it, whatever it is. And she's herself, like she has this really welcoming atmosphere, and she makes sure that as soon as you step on campus, that you feel welcome, that you're able to pursue all of the opportunities you're interested in, whether that's research or getting involved clinically. She actually has people who work in her office. Haley and I are currently pre-health advisors for Karen. So if you guys come to the campus in the fall, we'll be the people, or I'll be the person, I'll be the person who, or one of the people who kind of help guide you with the process of being a pre-med or being a pre-health student on campus. So I would just say having those resources available, that was something that CFC really made apparent during my orientation, during all of the college visits that I had with CFC. You could feel that sense of community before you even became a full-time student at the campus. And that's just the types of things that I've constantly seen here with the campus, especially in the Honors College. The Honors College is so committed to its students. Like CFC itself is a mid-sized school, so we have a small community, but within the Honors College, you're able to really immerse yourself with people who think like you, who are motivated like you, who have those same passions and dreams. Some of my very best friends are on this call right now. I've been able to pursue my research and get so many opportunities that way. I've had funding for my research. I actually was just notified that I got a SURF grant to help pay for my research this summer. So the Honors College is really a big part of that as well. But overall, I would just say the community that I've been able to have here.
If I could second that. And additionally, being a part of the Honors College, I think the General College is incredible. You get a lot of good opportunities, but being a part of the Honors College really puts you in a unique position to get a lot of attention from professors and a lot of unique opportunities and connections with both professors and, if you're interested, the Medical University of South Carolina. a lot of professors here have connections there. They're willing to get you to let you interact and meet physicians or researchers there if you're interested in shadowing or doing research. Everyone here wants to get you to where you want to be. So they're all going to try and get you involved and connected with whoever they know and get you to that place, that career, and get you involved in the field of interest that you're in. So that for me was the most impressive and I guess looking back, the most helpful thing that I was able to take away. But regardless, the community is incredible, as Vernon was saying. It's just another added bonus that everybody works so hard to try and get you these connections and these experiences with whatever field you're interested in.
Oh, sorry. Do you want to go? Okay. I was just gonna third on that, but like that's definitely something I touch on a lot, like on my tours when I'm talking to pre-health students. And the fact that College of Charleston, especially the Honors College, is such a collaborative environment. And like reminiscing back on like all of my hard pre-med classes that I've taken, like Vernon and Peyton were like there for me when we were taking biochem and like studying for like hours and hours in the library. Like having that support system with like not only your professors that want to see you do well, but also your fellow students. And that when you are showing up to class or you're studying in the library, the people around you, like they also want to see you succeed. And I know that's not always the case on every campus, but I can definitely speak from personal experience that College of Charleston's like pre-health community is so collaborative and supportive. And, you know, we're always looking out for each other. Like Haley told me, you should join EMS. And I was like, okay, cool. And then I did. And Vernon's like, oh, like we should take this class together for biochem with this professor. And we did. So we're always kind of like looking out for each other. And like, you'll definitely find that aspect of community and also collaboration on our campus.
And sort of jumping off of what everyone else has said, so I'm not a pre-med student. So I remember when I first was considering College of Charleston and before I accepted, I was kind of worried because they didn't have a specific pre-veterinary track like a lot of other like maybe bigger agriculture schools did. And I remember sitting down with Dr. Meyer Bernstein, who would eventually become my honors advisor, and she just kind of said, she was like, look, we're going to make sure that no matter what you need to be able to get into vet school, if you want to go straight out of college, like we're going to make sure that you have all of the opportunities that you need to get there, even though we don't have necessarily a preset track for you to follow. So, and she was really instrumental in helping me find research opportunities and internships to get shadowing hours. And so like everyone else has said, there are just so many resources and so many people who have great connections within the Honors College community that was really helpful for sort of making me a strong applicant and a well-rounded student, just so that I would be able to go on and succeed at whatever I wanted to try my hand at.
We got a question that was in the box, but I think it could be helpful for everyone. So it's for Vernon, but I think other students could also talk about it as well. Maybe talk a little bit about research, specifically undergraduate research here at the college. So the question is, so Vernon plans to pursue an MD PhD program. So it's a medical school combined with PhD program, and just wants to know how CFC prepared you to be a competitive candidate for that.
Yeah, I was actually trying to type a response, but I'm glad you called on me. So I would say the curriculum specifically, CFC, particularly in the Honors College, when they're teaching science courses, it's not just about the what, but they put a heavy emphasis on the why. And that's something that I've seen consistently in most of my science classes. CFC is a liberal arts school, so a lot of things that we learn in the sciences is very interdisciplinary. So we don't just have that one tunnel vision of how science works and how it can be applied to the world, but we have a broadened scope, a holistic scope, if you want to call it that. Particularly the Honors College, I love to talk about this. So if you guys come to CFC, we have this Honors Fast Track Chemistry sequence. So what happens is freshman year, first semester, you'll take Chem 111 and 112 or entry-level chemistry in the same semester combined, and then you'll start your organic sequence. And all of this takes place with the Honors College. So you get to be ahead in chemistry a semester early. But the best part about that is that you get access to such good faculty that the Honors College provides you with. You're able to learn things at such an in-depth level that allows you to apply it in multiple ways. So I would just say being able to have like a different approach to curriculum has really made me a strong candidate. Also my research experience. So to be an MD PhD, obviously there's a heavy emphasis on research, more so than the clinical side of practicing medicine. They still do see patients as well, but a big part of what they do is advancing science with the bench, or the laboratory is what we call it. But I would just say like my involvement with research. So I've been doing neuroscience research for over a year now. CFC, like I said, made that very accessible to me. The Honors College made that accessible to me. They helped fund my research. I've just been able to do that. So those types of experiences that may be harder to gain at a bigger institution, I've been able to have access to it. And I would just say like me having access to so many things and building my resume in that way, it makes me a more competitive candidate, especially now that I've received the Goldwater Award. So on our campus, we have an office. It's called the Office of Nationally Competitive Awards. Dr. Collins Froelich, she heads it. I don't know if any of you guys have met her. She's an amazing woman. Yeah, she's amazing. But she works really well with students to try and help them to pursue those types of awards, to help them become more competitive candidates. So her and I worked on the Goldwater application for months. And it was a lot of hard work, I'm not gonna lie, but it did pay off. I was able to receive the award, and that's gonna be almost a golden ticket, but not really a golden ticket, as I start applying to these programs, or these MD PhD programs following graduation. But I'm like Neha as well. I also want to take a gap year, but my plans are to do some form of a research experience. So my PI, that's my principal investigator, she's been reaching out to different people in her labs, but I'm also really looking forward to trying to get an internship at the NIH. So let's keep our fingers crossed on that one. But yeah, sorry, I kind of trailed off the question. But to go back, I would say the curriculum and how we learn science at CFC, as well as the access to research and the community.
And then,
else, yeah, I was about to say, if anyone else wants to talk about the research, please do.
I know Sam and I are two students too that do research at the Medical University of South Carolina. So for me personally, I started in the biochemistry department, and then I kind of changed course a little bit and wanted to do something that was more related to medicine, and because it was very chemistry heavy. And so I moved to MUSC, and I've been working with my doctor who works there, and they also love to work with undergraduates. We have a lot of students who will work at MUSC too at the actual medical university campus. And my doctor who's in charge of my lab, Dr. Sugi, she exclusively works with honors undergraduate students typically, because she always has had great experiences with them, and you get to work there in the facilities, and it's a really awesome experience to see what different sides of medical research can be like. I know we've had students who have even done clinical research with different things, with ultrasounds and a lot of different ways to be exposed to research. But even at the College of Charleston, I mean, they love to work with students. Like, they have a research mixer every single year in the science and math building where the faculty try to showcase what they do and get new students to come, and they love finding new funding. If that's something that interests you, then there's so many different ways for you to experience that.
And then sort of jumping off of what Haley said about just how there's so many opportunities for research, we are literally down the road from the Medical University of South Carolina. So it's so easy to collaborate. Like, you don't need a car to get there. You can just walk down Calhoun Street, and it's about 4 blocks away. It's not that far at all. So it's very easy to go over there. And then at CFC internally, there's so many opportunities to get funding and to get grants. And then after that, to present your research. So I know Vernon and I actually both presented at the same poster conference. That was just something that they sent an email out through Phi Kappa Phi, which is an honors fraternity, and said, hey, is anyone who's doing research interested in presenting? And then you'll get this certificate. And you can do this whole, it was like a 15-minute presentation just to practice giving a formal presentation. And there are poster sessions. And like I said, with the grants before, my parents, my dad's an MD, my mom's a PhD, and they both thought it was incredible that I was getting grants as an undergraduate. They were both really impressed by that. So definitely some unique opportunities here that you might not be able to find at other places.
So kind of piggybacking off of that, and different, oh, sorry, and different opportunities you can get. So you can also get the chance to travel and present your research externally. So I was able to go to Chicago last year in October to present at the Society for Neuroscience annual conference. So CFC also has a really great way of getting you outside of the campus community so you can have that broader professional experience as well. Sorry, Sam.
All right, my turn now. I guess just to echo and sort of wrap up everything, just CFC is really great at sort of pushing you and getting you to read in the same lab. Oh gosh, my internet. Still working? Yes, okay. So I've been in the same lab all 4 years, and it's been really great to build that connection with my PI that really, I think, got me, looking for the future and what I wanted to do. So yeah, just really great overall. So.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but what's a PI?
Your PI is your principal investigator, so the person that's like the head of your lab.
Yeah, and the PI that Haley mentioned, Dr. Sugi, actually, Haley mentioned that most of the students are Honors College students, and I can attest to that because we have a resource called the Honors Hub, where we share opportunities with all of our Honors College students as opposed to barraging them with emails daily. And Dr. Sugi, basically every time an Honors College student graduates, she emails me to ask for there to be a new post to the hub because they almost solely recruit through the Honors College. And there's multiple labs that are that way. And also multiple opportunities even outside of the health sector as well. So I know that our students, our admitted students, have lots of questions. So definitely feel free to unmute yourself and ask it out loud, or also type it into the box if that's more comfortable.
Hi, my name is Miller. I figure I should probably introduce myself since I've talked. But I have two questions. One is, have any of y'all been student athletes while also doing the pre-med track, and how has that worked out for you? And then do you just have any tips for being successful?
Okay, so this is my question. So I am on the equestrian team at school, and I've been doing that for all 4 years. We're a varsity sport, which means we're D1. And I mean, I'm pretty lucky that my coaches have been really understanding with school and the balance between practice and school life. But I know a lot of other people who are in the Honors College and are also student athletes. And basically, I mean, it really is a balance between figuring out like, okay, like I have to travel this whole weekend, like I'm going to be gone literally Friday morning till Sunday night. So what do I need to bring? Like I need to study on the bus. I have this orgo exam on Monday. How am I going to prepare for that? So you definitely have to stay pretty organized, and it's definitely a little bit stressful at times, especially during finals. But the nice thing about athletics and the balance with school is, for most sports, this isn't true for all sports. Like I know basketball has a crazy season, but for a lot of sports, the coaches and the athletic department are really understanding about missing competitions, missing practices if you have a school obligation. And we have mandatory study hall when you're a freshman, just to make sure that you're getting that time to get those study habits. And you'll have an athletic advisor along with your major advisor, minor advisor, honors college advisor, and pre-health advisor. So there are going to be a lot of people looking out for you and making sure you're on the right track. And basically, there's just a ton of resources between the Honors College and if you are a student athlete, having all of those athletic resources as well. It's just, there are a lot of people making sure that you don't get lost in the shuffle and making sure that you can keep up on top of everything. But yeah, just stay organized as best you can and don't be afraid to ask for help, I guess would be my two main tips.
Does that stay the same? So I want to join the rowing team. I've been rowing through high school, and that's a sports club. So that's not technically like a team for College of Charleston, I guess. Does that stay the same, or does it change with student clubs?
So club sports, I think, have their own sets of resources. And so you might not have like a dedicated advisor, like what I was talking about. But even with those, I believe that most of the people who act as advisors for club sports, they are members of the faculty, so they should still have some understanding of, okay, this is finals week. Like I can't expect people to be showing up and going to practice or to go on this 5-mile run. Like I know rowing is a very intense sport. But yeah, I mean, like I said before, just you'll still have all of your honors advisors, and a lot of them have been involved with honor student athletes in the past, so they get it, they understand. And it definitely is adding, you know, one more thing to your plate and having to balance that, but it's definitely doable. Like I said, I know a lot of people who have balanced both club or the varsity athletics, and they're still successful and going on to do great things.
Okay, thank you so much. That eases my mind a little bit.
No problem.
So we have a question that was in the chat box, so I'll read it out. So how frequently do students in the Honors College conduct biology research or shadow medical professionals in facilities abroad? And then how can you pursue biology and pre-med interests within a study abroad experience?
So I love this question too, because it combines two things that I love, going abroad in medicine. And one of the organizations that I will plug is MedLife. It's the perfect combination of the two. So MedLife stands for Medicine, Education, and Development for Low-Income Families Everywhere. And the main tenet of MedLife is going to impoverished communities and working with local doctors and nurses to see what that community needs. So I've gone on 3 service learning trips, is what we call it. We spend a week abroad. I've gone to Lima, Peru, Tena, Ecuador, which is like in the Amazon part of Ecuador. It was super cool. And also Riobamba, Ecuador, which is like in the mountains in Ecuador. And so then this winter, if you guys do come to CFC, I hope you do, definitely join MedLife and definitely come on our service learning trip. So we are going to Lima, fingers crossed with everything, hopefully everything works out. But it's a great way to kind of see, like, is this what you want to do? Like, do you want to be a doctor? It's because, you know, we take all these classes, you know, you take organic chemistry, you take all the classes and everything, you're studying all day long. But I think getting that like real world experience, whether it be EMS, whether it be research, whether it be shadowing, and MedLife is another great opportunity of putting yourself out into a real experience and seeing, like, you know, does this like elicit like passion in me? Like, do I really want to do this? And so for me, it's definitely been the case. Every time I've gone on a trip, I am like even more excited about going to medical school and becoming a doctor, because I see like one day this is what I'll get to do. I'll get to like treat people. And so it's more of definitely a shadowing experience. So you don't do anything that you wouldn't be able to do in the US. You do a lot of assisting with local doctors and nurses. And it combines, like I said, that aspect of traveling and cultural competency, learning things about other people in other places, and that medicine aspect too. So I can't say enough good things about MedLife. You guys should all come on the trip. I just became the president of the club, so if you have any questions about that, ask me. But yeah.
I can also speak on this a little bit, but I did something a little bit different, and we do have a lot of students who do MedLife and love it, so that's definitely an awesome opportunity. So I actually went on with a program called Atlantis. So what that does is for students who are interested in healthcare, and it can be anything. We had nursing, pre-nursing students, pre-PA students come on this trip, and you get to apply, and then when you're accepted, you pick a country. They give you a few different options during the timetable that you want to go. It can be 2 weeks to 8 weeks, and my options were Madrid, Spain, Milan in Italy, and then Athens, Greece. So it's really hard to pick, but I'm a Spanish minor, so I wanted to go to Spain. And you get to do different rotations through different departments in a hospital in that country. So I went to internal medicine, cardiology, maxillofacial surgery, and pediatrics. So it was really cool. And especially as someone who speaks Spanish, I got to listen to them do diagnostics and different things and talk to the patients in Spanish. And they always were really surprised that I actually understood some of what they were saying. It was funny. But so that was a really awesome opportunity, and I got to travel. It was during the summer, so it wasn't during school, and you can go visit different places in Europe or wherever you are on the weekends. But yeah, we had a lot of different varieties of specialty interests there, or program interests like nursing, PA, so that's really for anyone. You do have to pay for it. I put the link in the chat if anyone was interested in that. So there are a few different ways to combine seeing and being involved with medical opportunities and traveling abroad. I mean, my first surgery I ever got to scrub in on was my first day there. So I was jet lagged and in my first OR, and I was like, oh my gosh, what is happening? But it was a good experience. So.
There are some other options for studying abroad as well if you don't want something that's that big and comprehensive. So I was able to go to Scotland, I think it was last spring break. I took a course through the Honors College. It was called Genetics in the Good Society. So that course basically focuses on genetics and personalized medicine and how that type of healthcare can be applied to the US population. And specifically, we focused on the UK Biobank and Generation Scotland and their program and how they approach personalized medicine. So we spent some time in that class with Dr. Corey. He's awesome. We were able to study that program and the way that they handle medicine in Scotland. And then we actually went to Scotland for spring break to visit their facility, to speak to some of their researchers, and just trying to figure out what are some ways that we can, bring that type of medicine or approach to healthcare back to the US, which is always great, right? If you want to practice medicine or be a physician, you want to try to have a holistic approach. You don't want to have that cut and dry view when you're trying to save lives or change the world. So any type of a broad experience, whether it's a Maymester, something really cool like Atlantis, or just one of a spring break course that you can kind of squeeze in, it's a great opportunity.
Another question for y'all is, besides advisors, how did you get help if you were struggling with a class?
So one great resource that College of Charleston has is the Center for Student Learning. And so you can be on either end of the spectrum there. So we say it's tutoring for students by students. So you could be a student that needs help, say in organic chemistry, or if you've done really well in a class, you can also tutor in the CSL. So I've been on both ends of the spectrum. I tutor for organic chemistry, but I could not do stats to save my life. I was in there every single day getting help for stats. So it's really nice. They have walk-in tutoring labs. You can go in, I think they open at like 8 a.m. and they close at 9 p.m. And so you can go in whenever. They have tutors that have done well in those classes, have taken a lot of those professors or are familiar with them. So they kind of know what the class looks like, what the professor expects, like, do you need to study this kind of material, or do you need to more focus on like broad concepts? Just kind of giving you good tips on how to study. With a lot of my students that come in for organic chemistry, they'll struggle with mechanisms. And so like, we'll just put it out on the board. They have like whiteboards, all these resources that our tutors can use. All of our tutors are really great, really hardworking, and they really want to help students who are struggling in a class. And so I recommend that resource for sure if you are struggling. And like I said, that whole community thing earlier, a lot of the times you're going to know a lot of the other students in your class. And, a lot of students will form like study groups or go into the CSL together. So it definitely helps. The college will challenge you, but then they also have all of these resources to kind of help you out.
Yeah, I'm going to jump in on this one too. So I also work in the CSL as a supplemental instructor. So classes, mainly freshman classes, are going to be, can be broken down based on pass, fail, withdrawal, whatnot. And so classes with high D, W, and F rates, so receiving grades of D's, W's, or F's, get a supplemental instructor kind of attached to them. So this is a lot of Bio 111, 112, Chem 111, Chem 112 statistics, some intro psychs as well. So I am a supplemental instructor for Biology 111 and 112. And so your SI, I assume all you guys are probably going to have an SI next year at some point if you come to CFC. And so they sit in your class. They're going to hold sessions 3 times a week that's separate from class. And they're hour-long sessions to kind of help you practice, learn some study tips, and go over the material. And it's a super useful resource, especially in the classes that are traditionally very difficult for incoming freshmen. And that most, essentially the hardest, quote-unquote, classes in school based on the high DW and F rates. Wouldn't say they're the hardest in the college whatsoever. It's just a lot of kids struggle with them because it's a large quantity of material, way different from high school. And so the supplemental instruction, which is also through the Center for Student Learning, is really useful, and I really highly recommend it. And then also, once you guys all do really well in your classes, which you will, I'm certain of it, you guys can become supplemental instructors if that's an interest for you as well. So really cool resource though.
And then I was going to jump in too, but honestly, one of the best resources you can get is the professor that's teaching your class. Like I know specifically within the sciences, all of those faculty members are really exceptional in their field. Like they have a ton of experience and they really legitimately want you to succeed at whatever you're studying. So a lot of times, like I'm still very close with my freshman Orgo professor, and I would go to his office hours and say, I just don't understand this. Is there any way that you could explain it to me in a different way? And he would go into like an hour lecture on just making sure that I understood every aspect of that mechanism and like the stuff behind it, just making sure I had a really good grasp of everything. And that's an experience that I've had with multiple faculty members. So honestly, all professors have office hours, and going to them first and just saying, hey, I don't get this, or I'm having trouble with this. Is there any way that you could help me understand it a little bit better? And they will all be so glad to help you.
Yes, I'm going to say the same thing in that my professors have been so helpful. There have definitely been tears shed in the chem department offices, but we worked through it and we're still here today going to med school, so it's fine. But one thing I would say too, I loved about College of Charleston is that we have really small class sizes. The biggest class I've had that wasn't Western Civ, which you guys don't ever have to worry about because that's not a thing anymore. But the biggest class I had was like, okay, sorry. Not how I experienced it anyway. But it's still there. It's good. Do it. But it was about maybe 60, 70, I think 60 really was maybe even less than that. That was my biggest class. So you get a lot of you can have a one-on-one great relationship with your professor starting your freshman year. Like you're not going to be in a 300 person general chemistry class feeling like you're drowning in a sea of other people who are also drowning. So, I mean, one of my freshman year chemistry professors wrote me a letter of recommendation because the departments, they really care about you, not just as a student, like your grade in the class, but in your future and what you want to do, and they want to help you and they want to encourage you. I mean, I've talked to them about graduate school applications beyond just my class, or go in and ask questions about other classes. I've talked to professors I never even had in the chemistry department. When I had a lab question, I just knocked on their office door and I said, can I ask you a question? And they said, sure, come on in. So they're so open to help you. And I really, really enjoyed that here, that I feel like some other schools don't have that really small connected community between the professors and the students too, beyond just the students themselves.
So I want to be mindful of everyone's time, including our current students. So do we have anyone have a last question you want to ask before we thank our current student speakers? All right, so before we thank them, I will say that so since I sort of represent the Honors College admissions team, if any of our admitted students have any sort of individual questions or even questions that might be helpful for any other admitted students, once we say bye and thanks to our current student panelists, I'll stay on here for, well, as long as you need to chat in case you have any sort of questions that are about CFC, about the Honors College, about admissions and all of that, that maybe weren't pre-health specific.